This week on Weazel News, there was a storm a-brewing all weekend, and only one group of talented, intuitive, motorcycle-wielding individuals had the balls to say, "What you talking about, Thunder?" Now, live from the Weazel News headquarters.
Greetings, fellow spelunkers, in this humid boulder choke we've come to know as Los Santos. This week's story revolves around the winners of last week's scavenger hunt. The prize? A cool $1 million. The hunt was first completed by the Los Santos Motorcycle Club, the very club that government employees have been flocking to for weeks to participate in off-duty shenanigans. This week we're taking a dive into a few of their establishments to get a look at what makes the LSMC tick. Alright, so hang on a second. Here we go. Travis Rashguard, Weazel News. Welcome to the shit. We got the winners of the fucking scavenger hunt back here. We got Peter Stanford, Ava DeLaffey, Halvard Berg, and Matt Burns. So what was the premise of this scavenger hunt?
Alright, so basically it started off in the graveyard. It was a city-sponsored event for Halloween, you know. Get the city together in these times, especially with that horrible storm that was going. Get some fun out there, get people traveling around the city, seeing the sights, and hopefully not shooting each other for once.
I would just like to take this moment to let everyone know that the LSMC is recruiting, by the way, clearly the most intuitive, smartest...
A club. We're just a club.
A club of enlightened men and women of culture. Alright, so you get started. What was the first clue? How did the clues even work? Was it based on your radio, or what?
So the clues were initially given out at the start was a riddle. You had to follow and decipher the riddle to work out where the next person would be. You found them, and then basically, as long as your entire team turned up together, they'd give you the next riddle for you to decipher and to work out the location.
Do you remember? Do you remember any notable riddles? Can you remember any of them?
Oh, which one was the one that I really liked because it sent us to my favorite place? The lighthouse.
There was one about sailors lost at sea, follow the light, and count the pumpkins before the frost. Challenge one was obviously counting the pumpkins, and the other challenge was to decipher a Morse code message to find the final location.
What was the Morse code message?
So the Morse code message actually was a set of coordinates, and if you put the coordinates into your GPS, it would take you to the control tower of Fort Zancudo.
Whoa, really?
And that was the last location, so that's where we won.
And you were the first ones to do it. What was your strategy?
What's the strategy?
What was the final step?
Final step itself was basically a race from City Hall to Zancudo. The first one there won. The main challenge was working out like where to go from the Morse code that you could hear.
So you guys were actually the first to leave City Hall. When I saw you leaving, you were the first ones to successfully make it down the elevator.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of trouble. The elevator did get stuck on me.
Yeah, I think it had like a malfunction. They need to improve that maybe, I don't know.
Well, you know, the Department of Public Works, they need to have those elevators inspected, if you ask me. You know, some of them are more than 50 years old.
Definitely.
I mean, the last inspection report I saw them were sometime in the late 90s. I mean, you know. Alright, new batteries, here we go. So, you guys won. What was the prize?
For the first place, we got 1 million, which was split the 4 ways between us, so 250k each.
Yep.
I believe the guys who came in second place got 750k, which is split amongst them, and 500k for third place, which is obviously again split 4 ways.
That's a big payout.
Tax-free as well.
So we had two diametrically opposed opinions on how to approach this. Apparently you met somewhere in the middle and it worked. So we had Ava, who for some reason decided to go on duty at EMS during... and Matt, who was...
It was my kind nature. It was my kind nature. When
She
I
couldn't
see
help it.
someone down, I have to help them.
You went on duty?
When I see an injured person, I have to go and help them. It's just in my nature to do so.
Especially if Matt is the one running them over, right?
Exactly.
Neither confirm nor deny
That's
anything.
right. It's completely circumstantial statements. Hearsay.
They were like that when we found it.
Yeah, right.
We have no recollection of the event.
Just winning. Okay, so when you reached completion, did anything happen? I mean, there's been a crazy storm in town all weekend, okay? I couldn't help but notice that there was some sort of change in weather. What happened?
When we completed it, and shortly after, there was like, when we were heading back down, we just left the base, heading under the tunnel, there was another emergency broadcast saying that the storm seems to be changing, and it looks like we're getting snowfall soon.
Snow is incoming. All thanks to the LSMC. I believe I speak on behalf of the entire city when I say Fuck you guys. All right, so that's it. LSMC, join them. They're 150 members strong and growing every day.
Oh, wait.
Grab your hog and roll out with the LSMC. All right, let me put my shit back together here. See how many people are screaming right now at the gods. There's somebody on Weazel News and they're not taking my advertisement. Okay.
If you're doing a written report as well, can you put in that we actually stopped to buy Peter a sandwich halfway through.
Peter needed a sandwich halfway through the race to $1 million.
Yeah, we went to a general store to buy him a sandwich.
Somehow that's not at all surprising. Is it this one?
Literally this one.
Matthew Burns with the LSMC Camacho maxed with the light bar next to the pallet that people use to steal our motorcycles. So the LSMC also owns the Mojito Inn. Dear Lord. And you own the gas station. And you're recruiting. Oh my God. How could you not want to join these guys? Oh, the green room. Is this like a green room or what?
Ooh.
So what it originally was a shooting range. We were gonna open a shooting range,
I never
but
got to shoot my gun in here.
Of course, please step in. That's actually glass. Can't get through there.
I know that, Matt. Alright, here, Berg, take a couple shots downrange.
I'm just gonna step out of here so I get shot at.
Listen, if you're an off-duty police officer, EMT, DOC, Weazel News, you get free access to this shit. You should be joining the LSMC. Alright, I'll let you guys go. Thank you very much for the interview.
Let me know when you want to do that ride along, Travis.
Oh, you just let me know.
I want to do it now, but I don't have time.
That's fine.
I want to give you a good long ride along. Not
Yeah, we should do it on, I mean, even if I have to put my...
I talked to my boss, and you can't be on duty at Weazel, and you can't record anything, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's all the news for this week, fellow civilians. Make sure to tune in next week for my long-awaited ride-along with the Sheriff's Department. As always, this is Travis Rashguard getting off on the news.